For traders that have emailed and asked, the links for the free downloads are in the description box below. Just click on the link or copy and paste and put that in your browser. The 4-step method to high performance trading and the 7-step daily routine for high performance traders create the rituals, the mindset, and the winning attitude to master the markets. Bulletproof yourself with your daily routine and your habits. Force yourself to be getting better, 1% better every single day. How good can you get, traders? Again, the free downloads, the links are down below. They're both free courses. Let's get started. Good day, traders. Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading, and just assessing my Usdcad trade and my rationale behind taking this trade. We had large moves yesterday in the markets on many pairs, and lots of questions from traders and feedback. And again, I emphasize just looking for simple setups. I talk about day 1, day 2, day 3 with the idea of the big money opportunities. So each day a new breakout trader is triggered into the market. And as we get further and further away, obviously the higher level longs are getting caught up higher, and we get the large capitulation style type moves. Now, we had a large move on day 2, which was third day in many pairs. We saw high of the week, high of the day opportunities in the US after CPI yesterday. We saw some pairs make day 2 breaks for the higher high on day 2. We saw obviously some of the other US dollar crosses make a day 2 low of the week trade on the Tuesday for large moves back up. We saw large moves on the indexes, oil, gold. But coming back to the understanding of previous days' highs and lows, I'm looking to work off of those levels. Now, a trader asked me, can you go through and just so we know what's going on in your head in lifetime? Again, I just cannot emphasize enough. High and low of the day, high and low of the previous day. When we get a large move on a day 2 or on news, and the market has come down significantly, and that could be our high of the week and our low of the week. If I'm inside, although there are opportunities for high and low and we have news on the calendar, this is not the same as when I get an opportunity that is a day 1 or day 2 and day 3 type setup for a large style trade, whether that's again on the downside, Monday, Tuesday, whether there's news. That type of setup is very easily to define. So when we're inside, I'm not hunting anything that's lower probability, because this type of stuff is where you're going to, even though it may move, you potentially can get caught into markets that are going to maybe not do anything. And they may just stay in consolidation, and it may be a following day before the markets move. So again, coming back to the large move on the Canadian dollar, we saw the market continue up and put a high in place and a low in place and go back up into the just prior to the US Open. We have previous weekly highs at this level at 3,200. On the news, it pumped up into the high, and that gave me a thesis on the third level that we could see a retest of the break of the London low, as well as traders who were in the money from yesterday's long trades on day 2's vertical move back up through the high of the week. Now, as this trade played out, I said that after the major news, the next thing that I would look to trade is the New York Open, which expectedly we saw that 15-minute pump up into the peak formation that was formed on the news that locked in our high of the day. This micro trend line break was an opportunity to short the market on the break of this pin hammer with a 1-bar stop. So again, first thing I look for on a micro trend line break is a retest of the low, which we got. And when this market, as it broke down, we were getting to the end of that 15-minute candle from the New York Open. I gave it that first full 15 minutes as an opportunity to break down, to go to break even. If it did not break that, I would have closed the trade. Now, at this stage, we potentially have support or a low locked in that London session. I have chosen to keep my position at break even with a bit of wiggle room for 3 or 4 pips in terms of the market if it was to go vertical, so that there's no slippage. I've put a 50 pip target on this trade, and now I'm just going to watch and let it play out. So sometimes these markets don't move. It's a creeping trend. I have a strong conviction that because we are in a market with a peak formation in place on day 3, that this creeping trend should resolve itself with a capitulation through the low of the day. Creeping trends resolve themselves in one of 2 ways. This is not a short squeeze setup, although could be wrong. This could still go vertical at the end of the 3-hour window. But I'm going to leave this trade. I've locked in a few pips of wiggle room to take me out without losing any money. I'll let it play out. If this breaks down and this creeping trend does capitulate, it should hit stops on breakout traders from yesterday's US session longs, which we'll just zoom in here and take a look. So we obviously have US session higher level longs that are in the money. We have our peak formation. We have day 2 longs in the market. So yesterday we saw day 1 longs in the market. A continuation move midway through that US session. We have higher level longs just above the quarter level in that 100 pip box. We were 3 levels of rise, peak formation at the high of the day. And my thesis is that stops have been hit. They've locked in the high. We could see this market fall for a 50 pip move back into traders that were long on the higher level later in the US session. So I'm at break even. I'm going to let this trade play out. Hopefully that gives you some insight into my thought process, my thesis in managing the trade, and also my willingness to walk away and let this particular trade play out. Keep it simple, traders. Have a plan when you go to the screen. Know what you're going to do. Look for your best trade setups. Execute those. Keep it simple. Manage your risk. Take profits. And may the markets go with you.